Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Zalfahana, and in this video I am going to do a presentation about cognitivism in second language acquisition with the title of the presentation is The Implications of Cognitivism in Second Language Acquisition. So, we all know there are several models known or famous in second language acquisition, and one of them is including cognitivism. But uh, apart from cognitivism, there are also some other models that are known in SLA or second language acquisition, and one of the most famous models is behaviorism, which is something that has to do with behavior or habits. So children in or learners in the behaviorism theories are uh, practicing in repetitive ways and receiving feedback directly from the environment. So without grammar, and then without translation, and then without feedback into grammatical rules. So it comes just naturally, and the approach of this model or theory is audiolingualism, where which is coined by Professor Nelson Brooks in 1964, which we tend to just listen to the environment speaking in English, and then we repeat what they are saying in English. But it differs, of course, with cognitivism theory or model. Whereas the behaviorist theory of learning portrayed the learner as passive receiver of the information, the cognitive view takes the learner be an active processor of information, or being the informator. So this was proposed by Ossobel et al. In 1978, that we learn by thinking about and trying to make sense of what we see, feel, and hear. The basic teaching techniques associated with a cognitive theory of language learning may cover the following activities. The first one is problem-based learning or problem solving, and then discovery learning, cognitive strategies, and then project-based learning, etc. So, in cognitivism, we are being the main thing or the main object to not just receive language, but also be the active informator, so we also produce the language. So this is why it's going really well with some activities like problem or project-based learning. Okay, so next, we are going to talk about the problem-based learning itself in cognitivism theory. So, problem-based learning activity is based on the problem exposure, right? So, the student conducts the research based on theories, concepts, various scientific principles. So, by identifying problems and then collecting data to finally analyze, we or the learners can finally draw conclusions. So, the differences between problem-based learning and traditional learning is that the students in problem-based learning are able to decide their own problems, and then to look information with and relevant materials by themselves without relying so much on the lecturers. So we can decide the problems by ourselves, and the solution of the problem itself by our own critical thinking skills. So we're not just relying on the lecturers. So of course, this approach in problem-based learning has come with strength and weaknesses. For the strength, problem-based learning or PBL focus on the meaningfulness, but not the facts, not just the facts, but the meanings of the problem itself. So it can improve the students' initiative, and it can develop the students' skill in applying science. It can develop the students' skills of interpersonal relationship and group dynamic, because PBL are used to be done in groups. And then it can improve relationship between students and the facilitators, and it can improve the students learning achievement. But of course, problem-based learning have weaknesses, such as the basic academic competence of students is usually different from one to each other. So it is also time consuming for its implementation, so it takes longer time, and then also have different output, since every students have different competence. And then the change of role in the students and the lecturer will take time, like I said before. And then in general, it's not easy to formulate the problem, and the lecturer should be able to design an appropriate instrument for the student's assessment, because PBL is only good if we are executing it in the right way. If the lecturers are not yet understand about how the concept of problem-based learning itself, then it's going to be a bigger challenge than a better approach to do the second language acquisition in cognitivism theory. Instead, it's going to be a bigger challenge if we are not yet understand about the concept, not fully understand the concept of PBL. And then the next approach is discovery learning. In cognitivism, this activity is aimed to develop a research competence and to improve the learner's appreciation towards science. So it would rather focus on the learning process than the learning product. In addition, discovery learning is designed to increase the students' learning skills, including how to ask questions and how to evaluate strategies. So in problem-based learning, we are focusing on how to solve a problem, but in discovery learning, we also focus on the a process of the problem solving itself. So discovery learning not just value the how we solve the problem, the output or the result of the problem solving, but also the strategies used. So we are evaluating the strategy used and asking questions throughout the whole process of the problem base itself, problem solving itself. And then for the next approach is the cognitive strategies. So there are several strategies that are actually very simple and generally known, but we haven't really discovered it. So cognitive strategy is an organized internal competence which can lead students in their learning process, such as thinking process, problem solving, and decision making, that enables the students to think systematically and critically. This includes repetition, organizing new language, summarizing meanings, guessing meaning from context, using imagery of memorization. Activities in the classroom which can be described as cognitive strategies include making mind maps, visualization, association, using clues and for comprehension, underlining keywords in books, and then self-testing and monitoring. So these activities are some cognitive strategies that is very good in the cognitivism theory for second language acquisition. So you better note some of the strategies for your for the better language acquisition, so you can acquire language easily with this if you master the concept, the ways of how cognitivism theory is. Okay, so next we also have to know, after we execute the approaches, and then we all do the approach, we know how to do the approach, the from the cognitivism theory. We also have to know about how we implicate it, not just theoretically but also in daily life, in the environment. How do we uh, how do we imply this method, how do we imply this model in acquiring second language? So we have to know about linguistic mechanism at the play, like phonological awareness, and then morphological and syntactical understanding, and also the pragmatic skill. So language isn't as simple as you think. Learning language isn't as easy as you think. So, but it's going to be easy if you know what to do in acquiring languages. So, in phonological awareness, we refer to the ability to recognize and manipulate the sound structure of a language. For example, there is the distinction between bat and pat, that in the written form is very similar, and in the sound or the phoneme is also very very similar if you are pronouncing it fast in a sentence. For example, it oftenly misunderstood or misheard, like for another example is like the th sound, as in think or that, is particularly very tricky for many non-native speakers, including myself. And then also, other than phoneme, of course, we have to move to the bigger branch, such as morphological and syntactical understanding. So morphology, as we all know, is the study of internal structure of words. For example, is like the addition of suffixes in words like ing or it to denote difference of tenses, like run becomes running, or ran. And then furthermore, there's also challenge in understanding compound words, so not just a single words but compound words such as toothbrush, that combines the word tooth and brush. And then syntax also deal with the arrangement of words in sentences. For example, well, in English one would say I love apples. In other language, the form may be shuffled or turned more akin into like I apples love, right? And there are also some connotative phrases like kick the bucket or bite the bullet that might confuse learners due to their non-literal languages. Okay, and then this is the most important one in my opinion, because this have the strongest connection with every model or every theory we're learning, which is the pragmatic skills, that the realm of social and cultural norms that guide how language is used in various contexts. For instance, the way one might greet a close friend differs significantly from how one would address a senior, colleague, or stranger. So pragmatic skills has something to do with culture, in how we are applying the language in our daily life, right? Okay, so lastly, I have strategy in enhancing second language acquisition by the cognitivism theory. We call immersion. This might sound very familiar in our daily life, immersion, but do you guys know what is the exact definition of immersion? So immersion is actually referred to the full and complete engagement in an environment where the target language is primary mode of communication. So if our target language is English, then we are going to use English in our daily life, like fully using it. These are the concepts of immersion. So the first one is a regular practice. The first point is, when surrounded by native speakers and exposed to the language in everyday situation, learners are compelled to use English regularly. So let's say if we are living in an environment where everyone around us is speaking in English, of course we are going to be used to it. In the real world application, beyond classroom, real life situation provide contexts that are both diverse and unpredictable, like ordering food at a restaurant, asking for directions, or engaging in casual conversations in the target language. And then also we have to do understanding in the culture and have instant feedback in this immersion, because we have to also understand about the culture of our target language, for example in English, and then also with the English environment we are going to have instant feedback from people around us. They are going to give us feedback or clarify if we do mispronunciation or misspelling, or there are something off with our grammar. We are going to have people around us to also help us in correcting it and make our English speaking better, or our target language better. And then after the immersion, there are another strategy which is still, I think it's still connected, which is leveraging technology and metacognition. So language learning apps like online courses, for example Duolingo, and then virtual exchanges have revolutionized the way we approach language in our study, while we are learning language. So these platforms not only provide the flexibility of learning at one's own pace, but also offer personalization, catering to individual learning styles and preferences. As technology offer the tools, the technology offers us the tool, like a lot of tools like social media and Duolingo and so many online courses. Metacognitive itself, the techniques is providing the mindset of the learners by encouraging learner to be introspective and have self-awareness in our learning. So we are not just learning the language by playing Duolingo every day, but we have to consistently reflect and identifying what are our strengths and what are our weakness in learning language, so we can always improve from day by day, from time to time. Okay, so that is all I can explain about the cognitivism and the implication in second language acquisition. We already start with behaviorism theory, and then slightly about cognitivism and the problem-based learning, project-based learning, and then also immersion and leveraging technology and metacognitivism. So I'm sorry, I mean not metacognitivism but metacognition. So that's all I can explain in this presentation. This presentation comes with the PowerPoint, so I hope it's clear enough. So the PowerPoint have better word structure and then a full explanation about what I'm explaining in the video. So I hope I managed to do the presentation well. Thank you very much for watching this video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.